Girls and boys, it is so wonderful to be with you again. Even though we can't see each other, we're still together. And I hope last time, we talked about watercolor painting. I hope you did. I'm sure you did well today. We have a special surprise for you. Guess who's here? Miss Janet's here today. Hi, Janet.
Hi, Joe. It's so good to see you and be with you.
Thank you, sweetheart.
We miss all our children's church kids so much, but they're with us too, aren't they?
Absolutely.
They're here.
Yes, and Janet, we want you to do for us what you usually do, like if we were in church. You sort of explain the gospel reading to us, and I find it kind of confusing, and maybe they do too. So kind of give me a rundown on that.
Yes, today's gospel reading is one I can really get a hold of. Sometimes I read the gospel, Joe, and it just goes over my head a lot, actually. But today's is a really good one. I think it reminds us of Easter Sunday when Jesus rose again and he was there. 2,000 years ago, he was there with his disciples and they were so happy to have them back. Well, I just can't imagine how they felt, probably, to have Jesus back in their midst, alive with them. But Jesus knew at that time that he wasn't going to be on earth that much longer. In about 40 days, he was going to ascend and be with God the Father. And he was worried about his friends, his disciple, and all the followers, about leaving them alone. So he wanted to assure them that he was going to always be with them and his love was always going to be there in the form of the Holy Spirit. We have God the Son, God the Father, and God the Holy Spirit. And he told his disciples that they were never, ever going to be alone. Just like I think that the Good Shepherd is always with us, taking care of us, Joe. I want us all to know and to feel that we're never alone. Do you feel that, Joe?
Oh, honey, I feel that. And Janet, you always make things so clear to me and to you. Doesn't she do that for you girls and boys? Miss Janet can always just I have had trouble understanding that. But what it means to me, and maybe the girls and boys can be thinking about this too. One of the commandments that Jesus asked us to do, for instance, was love your neighbor as yourself. And so how I interpret the Holy Spirit now is when I have the impulse to do something kind for one of my neighbors, that's the Holy Spirit working in me.
I like that, Joe.
And how do you feel, girls and boys? And you probably, maybe now, will see another child that's hungry and you share some of your food with them, or just any kindness to a needy friend. That's the Holy Spirit maybe working in you. Now, the problem is, how do you demonstrate that? How do you paint that? Because we always try to take the gospel points that mean something to you and paint it. What would I put on this piece of paper? The Holy Spirit working in me. Maybe I can paint a heart.
Ah.
Paint a heart.
Nice.
Yeah. Be nice to have some paint, wouldn't it?
It would.
All right, Miss Janet's going to show you. If you need paint, maybe you can make your own paint.
Right. If you're stuck at home and you all of a sudden you want to paint and you want to paint the gospel story and you don't have any paint, never fear, you can make your own paint at home with 4 simple ingredients. So get your moms and dads to help you and get your bowls and your measuring cups. All you need is water, got warm water because it's easier to mix it, flour, salt, and food coloring, magic food coloring. So I'm going to mix this up, and I've already made ahead of time. I made my primary colors. Is that right, Joe? Are those the primary colors?
I think so, Janet.
The green and the yellow and the blue and the red. So I've got my measuring cup, and I'm going to, you don't have to be totally accurate. That's about a cup right there. I'm going to put that in, and now my salt. So you've got all these ingredients, I bet, in your kitchen. No running to the store, which it's hard to do right now.
Absolutely.
So I've got my salt is so easy to measure. There's a cup of the salt, and now I'll get my water and pour out a cup. Got it. So those are the 3 main ingredients, and I'm sure you've got maybe spoons, or I love to use this whisk. You might have one of these. Ask your dad or your mom if you have one, because it mixes the lumps of the flour so much easier. So this is really the fun part, Joe.
Oh, really?
You
Oh,
want to do this, don't you? You can see how much fun I'm having.
that does look like fun, Janet.
So you just want to mix this clumpy old flour
Oh, boy.
to get it all dissolved together. And I
Got
can
to
feel
get it
that
all
salt.
kind of like thin, right?
It is going to be, but this is going to be kind of a thicker paint than our kids are used to painting. You know, your watercolors are pretty thin, right?
Yes, yes, they are.
This is going to be a little bit thicker. So
Oh, but that looks like fun, Janet.
it is fun. So I've got my mixing done, and I'm going to put this down here. And now the fun part, I thought since I used the primary colors, we would mix some colors, Joe, and we're going to have
fun.
we're going to make
Janet.
purple, and I bet all you smart kids, we've got the smartest kids there are.
Oh, and purple is one of our favorite colors, isn't it, girls and boys?
It is, and we'll mix a blue dots, and you know, I just kind of squeeze out as many as I feel like it, because it's going to be up to you, because you'll know exactly what shade you want. So I mix some blue dots and some red,
Yeah.
and hopefully that's going to make some beautiful purple.
Red and blue makes purple, Janet.
Yes. If I can lift this up. Oh, look at that. This is really fun. If you
Oh,
guys
it
can
looks oh, and it looks wonderful.
these colors mixing up. And whatever shade you get is going to be fine, because it's your very own shade that you've
That's
made.
right. I could make a purple heart if I wanted to.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So there is my purple.
Oh, wonderful.
So fun to see those colors coming together.
Oh, I wish I could do that.
I am going to put some, I wish you could try it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to put some on my, like make you a little palette. And I've got red and blue, and I've got yellow. Look at that yellow. And I've got green. And even if you don't have little bottles at home, you can just keep it in a bowl.
Yeah.
And when you're finished painting, you can probably just put the bowls of paint in the refrigerator, because with the salt, I think this paint would last a long time, because salt is actually like a preservative.
So it would last, yeah.
And I'm going to put my purple seems to be a little bit more liquidy. It's going to run into my green and my blue, but I'm going to put that right there. And with social distancing, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to step away into your beautiful yard, so you can get over here with your paper and your brush and try some brush strokes.
Oh,
out.
Janet,
To show you
thank
skills.
you. We could actually try it. You
Am I
really-
6 feet away, Joe?
You're far enough. Okay, let's see. Oh, Janet, I'm afraid I'm going to miss it. Look at all of this. She's got yellow and purple and green, and my heart is going to be red, right? Red heart. See, I'm not very good, am I?
Yes, you're always good.
See, that's because I'm an old lady. But you can make this work just really bright for you. And you know, we think of a heart as being red, but it doesn't have to be.
That's right.
I can see some of you thinking, how do I get some green in there, Janet? Can I paint like the heart is on these wonderful,
Perfect.
the
You
wonderful.
can do whatever you want, and it's thick, isn't it, Joe?
It's nice and thick, and I want some yellow too. Yellow is my favorite color. Is it one of your favorite colors? And
You know
here's,
what you did last time?
oh, but the green's mixed in with it, Janet.
Oh, nice.
I like that. And
Last
see
time
how
we met,
thick that is?
you had a great idea to ask the children to have their parents take a picture of their painting and send it to email it to the church office.
Absolutely. Now listen, Miss Janet has made all this wonderful paint, so you have no excuse not having any paint at home. You can get your mommy to help you make some of just exactly what Miss Janet has done. And if you need the recipe, because if you're like me, you won't remember, you can call the church office and Mr. Anthony probably will get from Miss Janet the recipe for how to make this. And you can make your own paint.
Perfect.
Right, Janet?
Right. That's right.
Make your own paint and send us a copy so we can see what you've done. Oh, I love this purple. Ah, look at that. Now, that's a mess, isn't it?
That
That's
makes
an
it more fun.
absolute mess. But you know what? It's my mess. It's my expression. And whatever you do, whatever you put on paper, it's your mess. It's your expression. And don't forget that what Jesus asked us to do is to love our neighbor as ourselves. Walk through the gate with him like we did 2 weeks ago,
Right.
Janet. And maybe you'll find something wonderful on the other side that you can share with someone that needs you. And that's the Holy Spirit working in you. Right?
That's it. You got it, Joe.
Well, Janet, we'll see them again in a couple of weeks, maybe.
Yes.
Maybe we'll
Very
see.
soon.
We want to see you again in a couple of weeks. We wish that God's blessings be with you in all ways in the next time, because we love you and we want you to feel the Holy Spirit every day of your life. God bless you.
Take care, everyone.
We love you.